Alright, welcome back, boys and girls, to another exciting TheKillerNacho Wi-Fi battle, and, yeah, this is gonna be, week 6 of the PGBL, and, you might notice my opponent is actually just 0-2. He's only actually completed 2 games. He's actually, apparently been having problems, with his, I think computer, was what the word was, so he's, definitely a little bit behind. So at this point, he actually hasn't played his, week 3, 4, or 5 match yet, so I got to him a little bit first. So at the time we were playing this match, he's 0-2. I don't know if he's completed any more since. I think he said he was going to complete a few more this week, so after I battled him, so he probably is a different record now, but I don't know what it is. So, yeah, we're just going to put 0-2 there, and, yeah, so obviously this would be a really important win for him, because he obviously needs to string some wins together to make a postseason push. As for the Dolphiones, we're still in a very competitive division, so we also want this win. And he is a fellow YouTuber, as everyone is, so make sure you check him out. And, yeah, so without further ado, let's go into, well, I'll just remind you guys of my draft. And there is the Dolphiones. I did not make any changes. And, Root apparently did not make a roster image for LA either, and I know he's not going to get back to me. So we're just going to go ahead and, show it this way. This works. So here's his draft, and, yeah, actually it's a pretty, scary draft, all things considered. Kind of a surprise that he started off 0-2. That Mega Beedrill I've had before in draft, the NGDL, and it is incredibly dangerous. I do have the Skarmory, but looking at the rest of his draft, he actually has a really, really good team built around that Mega Beedrill because a lot of bulky steals like Skarmory, just kind of get switched in on for free. So much so that Skarmory is kind of a liability, even though it's like my one way to take a hit from Beedrill. Because he can just switch in for free to basically his Slowbro, his Rotom, or even the freaking Magneton, because Skarmory has or Blacephalon. Skarmory has really, limited ways to deal with that. Aside from the Mega Beedrill, which is going to be a huge problem for me because I'm not going to be bringing Skarmory because of the aforementioned switch-ins he has for it. It just seems like a liability to me. But he also, has the Florges, which is an incredibly dangerous Pokemon. We've battled it before in the NGDL, and every time we played it, it's been really good. I actually, one of the weaknesses of my draft, I don't really have a really great Fairy Killer. So, by that, I don't really have a really hard-hitting Steel or Poison hitting Pokemon. So, bulky fairies are going to be a problem for this draft in general. And being that Skarm seems a little bit unviable due to the rest of his draft, yeah, it's going to be a pain if he decides to bring that Florges. So I'm kind of hoping he doesn't. I mean, I am bringing like Poison Jab on Garchomp, so I can maybe hopefully wither it down. Obviously, I am a Ghost EMZ hit from Mimikyu isn't going to feel too nice. I have ways that can hopefully wither it down, but it's still going to be an incredibly difficult Pokemon if he does bring it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just get into the match, and let's go. Alright, so there's the teams. Thankfully, no Florges, and as you can see, he did bring that Magneton for my Skarm, so it's I feel kind of good that I didn't bring it. Like, gotcha, But, yeah, from his perspective, he had to be expecting Skarmory, because it's one of my only ways to, get around Beedrill, so hopefully we're going to play it around here. I decided to lose my Incineroar. I have the Intimidate, so I know that he can pretty much live a hit from most of his team. He is bleeding with the Amoonguss, which is pretty great for me. I'm actually just going to go for a U-turn because I don't expect him to stay in here and want to take a Flare Blitz. But he ends up staying in here, and I'm thinking, okay, if he's staying in, he's probably going to go for a Spore. Let's go out into my Espeon, who I'm bringing for the second time now. And, yeah, I'm just going to get that Magic Bounce. Obviously, it does not affect Amoonguss as he is a Grass type, but it still has that immunity thanks to Magic Bounce. So, yeah, this also will force him to switch out because I do have Psychic, and I decide just to, over-predict once again, play a little aggressive, go for that Shadow Ball on the predicted switch because I don't think he's going to be wanting to stay in. And, yeah, I end up getting this Slowbro. So, maybe one thing about his draft is he has these two really strong regenerators, the Slowbro and Amoonguss, and yeah, it's going to allow him to, get these switches off pretty easily, because now he can just switch out Slowbro, and it's going to be back up to 75%, even though I did get that great prediction. And now I will switch out because my Espeon is actually Scarf this week. I needed a Scarf to outspeed a potential Scarf Blacephalon, and to outspeed Mega Beedrill, so I am locked into Shadow Ball, unfortunately, so I'm going to go ahead and switch out. I don't know if he knows that I'm Scarfed, but he did stay in, so maybe he suspects. So either way, I'm just going to go for a Flare Blitz now for my Incineroar, and it actually survives, revealing that this thing is probably max physical bulk, because I am an adamant max attack Incineroar, so kind of surprising. But I still do cripple this thing, but he can just switch out and get back up to above 25% thanks to Regenerator. And he ends up going out into Magneton, which is actually a pretty good Pokemon for him to sack off because I didn't bring the Skarmory. So his ability obviously isn't that great, and yeah, he's just going to go for a Volt Switch. I ended up just going for another knockoff, so at the very least I should be able to knock off something else, and yeah, in comes the Amoonguss, and I'm okay. That should knock it back down to red, as well as get rid of its Black Sludge, so it's going to take away a little bit more healing from this thing, and he decides to switch it out again, so it's going to go back 25%, but yeah, he's just going to give me Magneton, so I'm okay with that. I think that is Incineroar's first kill of the season. I might be wrong, but if it isn't, it's one of his first kills, so good job, Incineroar. Unfortunately, here comes the Beedrill. Incineroar is kind of low at this point, so I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and just sack off Roar. If he goes for the U-turn here, which I'm kind of suspecting, you know, at least I'll get the switch advantage because I can see what he switches in first. He ends up going for X-Scissor, which is not a move you see every day on Mega Beedrill, but sure. I'm just going to go ahead and take care of my Incineroar, and yeah, I'm just going to go into my Chomp now. And I do that because I know I can take a hit. I did bring a kind of a physically bulky Chomp, and I think I have the Haban Berry on this thing, just for the Zygarde rather. But yeah, I'm just going to go for the Stealth Rocks, figuring that they're pretty good set up. He does have, obviously, the Blacephalon and Mega Beedrill both weak to them, so I wanted to get them up. And yeah, I'm just going to go for the Earthquake. I end up getting a crit. Now, that was going to come down to a roll anyway, according to my count, because he was max physical bulk. But yeah, the crit's going to confirm that, so it really does suck for him. That one might have mattered. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, it's really good for me to take that thing out. He's gonna go into Slowbro again, just go for the Scald as I go into my Manectric, because Manectric is pretty much the one thing I have to really threaten this Slowbro. And I am getting burned, so that's not great. And I end up deciding to try to overpredict, and yeah, sometimes playing aggressively is going to cost you. I tried to go for the Hidden Power Ice to predict Zygarde to come in. You know, I thought that he would, you know, assume I'd try to go for a Thunderbolt, but he ends up calling my bluff. And, yeah, he ends up staying in, just going for a Psychic, which will actually take down Mega Manectric, so not a very great exchange there for me. I do still have one Pokemon that matches up okay against Slowbro, and that would be my Mimikyu, and I don't want to risk getting burned off a Scald, so I'm like, you know what, let's go ahead and just pop off the Ghost TMZ. I actually did bring something interesting on this Mimikyu this time. I decided not to bring a Fairy move. I'm leaving the play rough at home, so I have two Ghost moves, which would have been a problem if he brought Bibarel, but he didn't. But I actually do have Destiny Bond on this thing, which is interesting tech on Mimikyu. But either way, just gonna go ahead, just a note, just gonna go ahead and pop off the Z Shadow Claw, Never Ending Nightmare. End up getting a pointless crit. That one didn't matter. I counted. That was gonna definitely kill, even if it was max physical bulk, which it probably wasn't. Either way, in comes the Beedrill, and he's going to actually try to pursuit me, but that's like, whatever. I really do need to just get rid of this Beedrill, so I'm going to go ahead and stay in. He does break my Disguise, which is what he needed to do, and so I'm just going to go for a Shadow Claw, which, after, you know, Stealth Rocks hit, that doesn't matter either. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take that down. So I got two pointless crits, and one crit that might have mattered. Either way, that's kind of sucks for him. Although I'm pretty sure that one didn't matter. So I'm just going to go for the Shadow Sneak against this Blacephalon, and that's just going to take it out. So there we go, done. Blacephalon no longer a problem. It is made out of paper, and after the Stealth Rocks, I knew that I could kill it, so here we go. Yeah, Mimikyu is looking pretty nice, and his Zygarde is his last Pokemon. I'm just going to keep going for the Shadow Sneak. I kind of want to see what this set is. I didn't want to really sack anything else. I know that if I play my cards right, I can just go into my Scarf, Espeon to finish us off, or I could just go into my Haban Berry, Incineroar, and should be able to take the hit, even if he can switch moves, and he can, because he has the Life Orb. I'm like, whatever, let's go ahead and just reveal the Haban Berry for the coolness factor. Unfortunately, this thing does live 2 Shadow Sneaks, and now it is in red HP, so I go into my Chomp, and I'm just going to go for a Poison Jab, just to be funny. He ends up outspeeding it, which is really weird, and the reason that's really weird is, like, I mean, you might think he's adamant, but no, I'm adamant too, so he's running, like, a weird set, and I don't have max speed investment for adamant either, so that was a little bit weird. Or, you know, maybe I had close to max for adamant, but still, that means that he was not only running adamant, but he was not, you know, he was running some bulk or something. That's kind of strange on a Zygarde, but that's whatever. Good game there, Marz. Thanks for the match, and the Dolphiones improved to 5-1, which is pretty nice. Next week we'll be playing the creator of the league, Root, the commissioner, so to speak, and his New Jersey Brobat. So that should be interesting coming up. And anyway, today's question of the day has to do with Sword and Shield. So if you don't want a spoiler for Sword and Shield, I would recommend you turn off the video now. This is my warning, so don't say I didn't warn you. And yeah, it has to do with what everybody's talking about, the Pokédex, and we do know that there's only 400 Pokemon in the game. It's quite a bit lower than some of us were hoping for. And there were a lot of cuts. Now, I know that some YouTubers have been getting into problems with YouTube for posting some leaked content, but they can't possibly get mad at me for posting an image of Pokemon that are already out, right? I mean, here's like a perfectly legitimate picture with, existing Pokemon, completely randomly color-coded with either white or green, sometimes dark green, signifying perhaps something's different about them. I think it's pretty obvious what this list means, and this is official. This is the existing Pokemon, that are going to be in Sword and Shield. I'll let you figure out the color coding for yourself, but that is the official list, and if you've been following the leaks, you can find them pretty easily on Google. But until Nintendo officially says something, I don't really want to go into any of the new Pokemon, so we'll go into this. So how do you feel about this list? How do you feel about the cut Pokemon versus what's in the game? Did some of your favorites get in? Obviously, Dustbuster is not in, unfortunately. And I'm just kind of, really bummed out by that low number. It's going to really make it hard. I mean, thinking about if I'm going to be doing Wi-Fi battles in this gen at all, then obviously I'm going to be going in and playing the games. I'm going to start my Nuzlocke on it on stream Friday night. I'm hoping that the games will be fun. But I'm kind of bummed out for the competitive. I might just, have to switch to Showdown for the NGDL. Because, 400, that's really low. It's maybe not enough to sustain a draft league, at least a very interesting one. I was kind of hoping that it would be, like, at least 500. So we could, maybe have a season on Sword and Shield, but yeah. So just give me your general thoughts about the returning roster. I'm interested to hear how the Pokemon community, well, I know what some of the Pokemon community feels about this, but what some of you guys, my viewers, personally feel about it. And yeah, so this can be an open forum or not, or you can just say KillerNacho, suck it up, baby, or all those stuffs. So, see you guys again next time, and for now, the Dolphiones are winning, and by the time that next week, 5-1, by the time next week rolls around, we will have Sword and Shield, otherwise we'll still obviously be playing this on Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, because it's a USUM league. Yeah, we're going to get into some Sword and Shield content in this form of Nuzlocke. I'm probably not going to be, obviously, posting battles on there until I'm able to, transfer or, train up some competitive Pokemon, so we will see the ETA on some Wi-Fi battles, because even though, like I said, I don't want my leagues to move to Sword and Shield necessarily, I'm still going to be doing Wi-Fi battles on them, at least early on into the generation's lifespan. We'll see if it's able to hold my interest or not. But yeah, so that's it. So see you guys again next time. Laters.